Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's All Shades of Dramatic and also Little Big Vlog. But more about Little Big Vlog later. And today we are going to be talking about Lee Jongsuk's comeback drama after military, Big Mouth. Everybody's talking about it, so let's go. Today we're talking about Lee Jongsuk's comeback drama Big Mouth, or what some people refer to as Big Mouth. So let's get all into the good, gory, juicy details. I am not going to be revealing who Big Mouth is here. You're going to have to watch the drama to find out. But I am going to be giving you my opinions on this drama entitled Big Mouth. And I have a lot of opinions on this drama, so let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to focus on is the cast of Big Mouth. So Big Mouth stars Lee Jongsuk. Lee Jongsuk, I've known Lee Jongsuk from since I was 15 years old in high school, and I've watched millions of his dramas. But one thing about the dramas I've watched with Lee Jongsuk is he never have a perfect lead. So here comes Big Mouth, and this is honestly my opinion. I know a lot of people have watched Lee Jongsuk's dramas and they've loved Lee Jongsuk's dramas. They've loved the female leads in Lee Jongsuk's dramas, but personally, me, I do not like the female leads that they pair with Lee Jongsuk. And so today, we're gonna hear about it. You're gonna hear about it. So let's get into the female lead. Let's find out who the female lead is for Big Mouth. I think everybody have already streamed this drama by now, or some people may even be watching it. And so let's talk about the female lead inside Big Mouth. The female lead inside Big Mouth is no other than Yuna. Everybody knows Yuna. I'm not even gonna get into it because everybody knows Yuna. And so that's the female lead that they paired with Lee Jongsuk for Big Mouth. Today, if you're a fan of Yuna's girls group, Girls' Generation, you may not want to be here for this video, but we are going to continue into this video regardless. So there's several other people who starred inside this drama with Lee Jongsuk and Yuna. We have Kwak Dong Young, who starred as Jerry. We have Kim Joo Hyun, who starred as Choi Do Ha, the villain. And we also have a new face that I'm familiar with, Yang Kyung Won, who starred as Gong Ji Hun. And honestly, Gong Ji Hun is a villain, but I have to say he is a very lovely villain. If anybody wants to cast Gong Ji Hun, also known as Yang Kyung Won, in a Korean drama that is a rom-com, I am watching that drama because the dude Gong Ji Hun in this drama was epic. I loved it. I loved watching Gong Ji Hun, even though he was a villain and against Lee Jongsuk in this drama, who starred as Park Jang Ho. I loved the relationship they actually had. It was really funny. Every time he came on, I was excited to see him. I was excited to see how he portrayed his character inside this show, Big Mouth. And so please, if anybody is looking to cast anybody in another rom-com, please pick Yang Kyung-won, who starred as Gong Ji-hun inside this drama. In addition, we're gonna go over who Lee Jongsuk and who Yuna starred as inside this show. So inside the show, Lee Jongsuk starred as Park Chung-ho. He is a lawyer with a big mouth, and he's pretty infamous. Nobody really knows him as being a really great lawyer in Korea, but he's known to be Big Mouth. And then we have Yuna, who stars as Komi-ho, a nurse and the wife of Lee Jongsuk inside the show. So the wife of Park Chung-ho. So we have Park Chung-ho, who stars as Lee Jongsuk. Reverse that. We have Lee Jongsuk, who stars as Park Chung-ho, a very unpopular lawyer, and we have Yuna, who stars as Komi-ho, the wife of Park Chung-ho, who is Lee Jongsuk. And so there you have it. Big Mouth is all about a lawyer who ended up being involved in a murder case, and he was charged with this murder. At the same time, he was discovered to be Big Mouth. Who is Big Mouth, and what's the big talk about Big Mouth? So Big Mouth is basically a swindler. He's like the biggest con artist of Korea. Everybody doesn't know who he is. Everybody is looking for him. And Park Chung-ho's, Lee Jongsuk, who started as Park Chung-ho, became Big Mouth. Was he Big Mouth? No. So basically what happened in the show was that he was framed. Park Chung-ho, who was Lee Jongsuk, was framed as Big Mouse and he became Big Mouse. Was he the real Big Mouse? No, I'm not gonna expose who the real Big Mouse is. So you'll have to watch the show to figure that part out. But inside the show, Lee Jongsuk became Big Mouse, and I honestly stayed to watch Big Mouse because of Lee Jongsuk. This whole show was about him. This whole show was supposed to be about him. And so the show started off, let me tell you, when I first started the show, I was like, whatever happened to the Lee Jongsuk that I know? If you guys watch W Two Worlds with Lee Jongsuk starting, if you guys watch I Can Hear Your Voice, Pinocchio While You Were Sleeping, everybody knows that Lee Jongsuk is a very, very professional and beautiful actor. So when I saw the first episode of Big Mouse, I was like, okay, this is really flat. This is flat for Lee Jongsuk. I said, I don't know what's going on here. This is really boring. It didn't hit. I was like, I have to make it to episode 2 to see if this is even going to push through. And so I made it to episode 2. Okay, I said, okay, it's getting a little bit better, but where is the Lee Jongsuk I know? When I started Big Mouth, I was looking for that. Where is the Lee Jongsuk that I know of? The one who shouts and screams and is passionate about his job. Like, listen, I was looking for all of that. And it wasn't hitting in the first few episodes of this drama, Big Mouth. And so I had to sit and try and get through it. I honestly had to sit and try and get through it. And by episode 3, 4, I felt it. I felt Lee Jongsuk coming back and he was hitting the nails on the head, and I saw the facial expressions, I saw the deadpan look in his eyes, and I was like, this is the Lee Jongsuk that I was looking for. And I honestly thought, okay, this is the first time that Lee Jongsuk is starring in a drama where he is married. And I know the whole entire K-drama army knows if Lee Jongsuk is in a drama and if he's married, it's going down. We're yelling timber. We're yelling timber. That's what I thought. That's what I expected. And so I say every time Lee Jongsuk is in a drama, I'm always interested in who the female lead is. And this time around, it was Yuna. So I was like, okay, Yuna, also known as Ko Mi-ho in the show, is gonna star as Lee Jongsuk, who is Park Chung-ho in the show, wife. I said, Lee Jongsuk have a wife in this show, in Big Mouth. I was like, okay, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I want to see what happens. And guys, I watched episode 1 to 6. And oh my goodness. I felt as if, like, I don't know. I didn't see it. Did anybody see the chemistry between Park Chung-ho and Ko Mi-ho in this show? Let's be honest, guys. If you've watched a drama before with Lee Jongsuk and it was a romance drama, everybody knows that Lee Jongsuk has amazing romance dramas. I mean, that's the whole point I was watching, because Lee Jongsuk and romance, I mean, come on. That's like the bread on butter. That's like the garlic on the bread. So why in this show did it fall flat for me? It honestly did, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just giving my opinion here, but it fell flat for me. I was like, where is the magic? Where is the chemistry? Where is the passion? Where is the romance? That was the whole thing. Where was romance? I didn't see it. I didn't get it. And I honestly was like, was this show supposed to have these parts? I didn't get it. I felt like the marriage for Lee Jongsuk, being who Lee Jongsuk is, the marriage in the show for Lee Jongsuk was like a big leap from a lot of his other dramas. And I was like, did they need to do that big of a leap? Because Yuna could have just been his girlfriend in the show. She could have been his crush, someone he was trying to chase after or run after. That's what I felt Yuna should have played in this drama. Because marriage, Lee Jongsuk, Jiba, whatever happened? Who wrote the romance for this show? I didn't get it. I didn't feel it. I didn't see it. Did anybody see it? You know what? 4 eyes. I must have missed it. But 16 shows and I missed it? 16? I mean, it could have been the first 4 shows and I missed it. But I should have felt it somewhere along in the other remaining episodes. But it wasn't there. I didn't see it. I didn't get it. And you know what? This is gonna sound really funny. You know what? I said, okay, Lee Jongsuk is getting married in the show. Okay, he's getting married in the show. I felt it would have made more sense if they brought back someone who we knew of, we wanted to see the marriage life of, with Lee Jongsuk, because Lee Jongsuk had a lot of great chemistry with a lot of female leads in his older shows, his other shows, and it was good. And so the fact that they took this big leap with Lee Jongsuk and made him married, and it's with a new face, I felt that's what kind of didn't make this marriage kind of work for me. I mean, I think it worked for them, but it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me, guys. It didn't work. But honestly, I have to say, it could have been a familiar face. If Yona, who starred as Komiho in the show, was playing Lee Jongsuk's crush or girlfriend or the girl he was in love with or the woman he's in love with, that would have made a lot of sense. This show, the chemistry, the romance, the very little romance that was between them would have made sense. A lot of sense. Even the ending scene of what happened to Komiho, I'm not going to reveal it here, even that, the ending scene of Big Mouth would have made sense if it was just someone he loved or someone he wanted or someone that he had a crush on or loved for a very long time. But the fact that Yuna was his wife, not Yuna, Komiho was his wife, and they was together for very, very long. Like, am I missing? Is that what marriage is like after you've been with each other for a very long time? Because it looked flat. Not just that, but she was a new face to be with Lee Jongsuk. So I don't think her role being his wife was it for Komiho. Being Lee Jongsuk's wife, it wasn't it for me. If it was someone else, and I'm gonna say who I wanted it to be, I honestly felt like it could have been, or it should have been, would have been, had to been, wasn't. Ebo Young. Okay, like I say, I've watched a lot of Lee Jongsuk dramas, and I honestly, I'm not a fan of too much of the female leads that they put him with. Mind you, I watched the dramas and they were great. I would give them 10 out of 10, honestly. But I always feel like Lee Jongsuk have a certain, there's something about Lee Jongsuk and the female leads he act with. And the only time I actually got that, or the drama that I really, really, really love Lee Jongsuk in, is I Can Hear Your Voice. And that was with Park Ebo Young. Ebo Young is a very famous actor. She's the spouse of Jisung. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna get into it because it's so good. Those two, why? How did they end up together? I love it. I really love it, and I really love Ebo Young in I Can Hear Your Voice. And so I thought when I started to watch the show and Lee Jongsuk had a wife in the show, I felt like it would have been or made sense if it was a familiar face, because we've all watched Lee Jongsuk's dramas, and we've seen him star in a lot of dramas with some amazing female actresses. At the same time, whenever the drama ends, it's like, that's it. Nothing else. Nada. Zilch. Leave it up to your imagination because we're not going to see them again. And so, if they'd have brought someone back that we didn't know who could have acted as Lee Jongsuk's wife, that would have made more sense and that would have hit harder. I feel like if Ebo Young was the wife of Park Chung-ho, who was Big Mouth in this show, please, fireworks. That would have hit so hard. Like I literally felt when I thought about it, when I really sat down and thought about Lee Jongsuk is getting married in the show, and then it wasn't a familiar face, like someone who he was before, it was a new face. I was like, okay, it's a new face, and that's okay. But it would have hit better if it was a familiar face. And I said, I honestly do love I Can Hear Your Voice so much. If that was Ebo Young, I can see Ebo Young actually playing that role out so well. Listen, I was already in love with this whole movie going on inside my head. Ebo Young and Lee Jongsuk in Big Mouth. Oh my gosh, Ebo Young with her very dark hair. It could have been short, it could have been long. She has a very powerful aurora, a great strong voice, and her acting is top notch. Listen. The wife, and her being Ebo Young being the wife of Big Mouth as Komiho, I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said it. And now it's out there, and that's too bad. But that's what I was looking for on the show. I honestly wish that Eva Young, starring as Komi Ho, would have been Lee Jongsuk's wife in Big Mouth. I felt like I wanted that familiar face because it's Lee Jongsuk, and he got married. He got married in a show. What? Married? That is like mind blowing, guys. And literally not Lee Jongsuk, the real actor, getting married. No, just in the show. I'm just talking about the show. I'm not talking about his real life, but in the show, it would have been something if it was a familiar face. Because every time I watch a Korean drama and the show ends, I'm like, oh my gosh, no, it's over. I'm never gonna see these two again. So I feel like them putting in a familiar face this time around for Big Mouth would make sense. Even if the ending scene, even if it did play out the same, even if the ending scene would have still been the same, guys, we would have freaked out if anybody who y'all like whoever acted with Lee Jongsuk came back and was a familiar face to us, and they were paired with Lee Jongsuk before. I felt we would have freaked out all the more just because we'd have been like, oh my gosh, he married her. And then we'd have been like, do you remember that show when them two worked together and now they're actually husband and wife? Like, this is so dope. Like, why can't Lee Jongsuk get an Lee Dong-wook moment? Because Lee Dong-wook act with a lot of female leads, and he actually started with these female leads like at least twice. And I felt it. Like, I honestly felt it. I love when I see the Korean actors act in a show with someone in the past and they come back in another drama. Guys, that is something I am in love with in the Korean show, because I could see like the difference in their accent. I could see how they built up. I could see how they're like pushing each other and how they like build on each other, how they built over the years. And it's such an amazing thing to see in a Korean drama. And so that's honestly my thoughts on just the female lead of this show. Honestly, I wish it was Ebo Young. I felt like Ebo Young would have really played Komi Ho's role just as well as Yuna did, but I felt like the connection was missing. And because the connection was missing, that's why I actually wished for someone, a familiar face, to side on Lee Jongsuk. But regardless of the female lead, who the female lead was, because the drama was still a huge hit internationally and in Korea, Big Mouth is a drama that, honestly, if there's a season 2, I want to watch it. If there's a season 2, please sign Lee Jongsuk up. Please write the script well. I think it's gonna be great. I don't even care what the script is gonna be, because the mystery from episode 1, round 3 and 4, all the way to 16 was awesome. Seeing Lee Jongsuk as Park Chung Ho, a lawyer who was unpopular, didn't know what he was doing, seeing his growth in the show was wow. I loved it. 대박 진짜로. But I have to say, this is probably one of the best looks I've seen on Lee Jongsuk. I really, really, really loved it. Especially when he embraced Big Mouth. At first, he refused Big Mouth because he wasn't Big Mouth. What the hell? He wasn't what he said he was. And the fact that he had a family at the end of the day, and to be a swindler at the end of the day, and the swindler being known as Big Mouth, who everyone was looking for, who everyone knew to be a bad guy, he refused that. He wasn't that type of person. But when he started to embrace Big Mouth, literally when Park Chung Ho, Lee Jongsuk started to embrace Big Mouth, that's when the tables changed, and I was like, listen, I am down for this show. I am watching this show. I binged that show. Honestly, I did. I binged it. And it was a great binge. It was honestly a great binge. I want a season 2 for Big Mouth. I think we all want a season 2 for Big Mouth. Big Mouth is by far like one of the best mysteries I've watched with a Korean drama, because everybody was like, who is Big Mouth? Who is Big Mouth? There was a Tom, there was a Jerry, there were like 2 villains. The villains were like really attacking Lee Jongsuk. I mean, this was a cat and mouse game, and the cat and the mouse was literally Tom and Jerry, and that was kind of the whole, I feel like that was what this show was based off, in a sense, just in a sense. But guys, it's a great watch. It's Lee Jongsuk. I enjoyed all the moments. And the funniest thing was that Lee Jongsuk in this show, when he just casted those moments by himself, because they didn't really focus the show on him and his wife. It was literally on him, his character, how he was like so little, and then he became so big, and then Big Mouth. We have Big Mouth, and he became Big Mouth, like literally. Like, that was my favorite part, the fact that this was never him. And then he lied, and then he became Big Mouse. And then he tried to run from it, and then he couldn't run from Big Mouse. And then everybody just knew him as Big Mouse. So no matter what he did, whether they found out him to be lying, whether it was the truth or a lie, you'll find out in the show. I felt like he was a really good Big Mouse. Like, I loved Big Mouse. Like, Big Mouse, Lee Jongsuk as Big Mouse is like by far the best Big Mouse of all time. If there be other Big Mouses, or if the real, you'll find out in the show. I don't want to put in too much spoilers, but honestly, just the parts where he just embraced himself and just embraced himself as being a villain. Like, I don't know why in this show it was like a part of the show, a part of him, they was like didn't. I felt like he could have been in a bad light, and it still would have been good. But it's like sometimes I felt like they just pulled back on Lee Jongsuk not being like a bad guy, and they just let him be like this kind of jokey, humorous guy. But at the same time, just a word out there, we love villain Lee Jongsuk. He's not a villain. He wasn't a villain in the show, but we love it. We love when he can be dark. We love when he can be cold and confident and calm and chill. And I felt like his role as Big Mouse, literally one of the best roles I've watched Lee Jongsuk in, just because of how his character just developed throughout the show. And yeah, I mean, guys, check it out. Honestly, check out this show. I mean, there's not a lot of romance, and that's okay, but just the mere fact of how the mystery developed in this show, it was something. Like, I normally like to watch Korean dramas just because the romance stories, the rom-coms, they are really good. This Korea literally produces a lot of good Korean dramas, and these Korean dramas have really good romantic scenes in it, and that's the whole point of why I started watching Korean dramas, because I'm a romantic, and I love how they display and produce and visualize their scenes. But this show didn't have a lot of romance, to be honest, and it was focused on mystery and suspense and just a little bit of thriller, and I loved it. That is why if it's season 2 and there's romance, I am still all down for it, just because of how Lee Jongsuk brings his stories to life. And so guys, that's basically it for this video. I thank you for coming back to my channel. I thank you for checking it out, but most of all, check out Lee Jongsuk's drama Big Mouse. Guys, Lee Jongsuk's back, and I love it, and I'm excited to see if there's a season 2 for Big Mouse, like there's a season 2 for Alchemy of the Souls. Guys, are you ready for this? Like, I can't even go into Alchemy of the Souls right now, because that's just gonna run this video so long. I didn't intend for a long video today. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'm really grateful for those who are still here, still on my channel, still watching videos. Just an update, you guys may notice that I did change my name to Little Big Vlog. Like I said in my recent video, I think it kind of just depicts and defines me for who I am right now. Feeling so little, yet feeling so big. Having a lot to offer, yet having not so much to offer. And so I felt like that encaptures my me more. Literally, just encaptures me more. And so stay tuned for the videos to come. All Shades of Dramatic. It's not that I'm cutting it out, no, but All Shades of Dramatic literally is like the name for how I act, exaggerate when I talk about Korean dramas, because the Korean dramas are by far one of my favorite things about life. But yeah, All Shades of Dramatic is not gone. A Little Big Vlog, it just means that there's probably going to be a little bit more videos on this channel that doesn't only deal with Korean dramas and Asian dramas. It's going to be, I'm going to try venturing into just a few new things, and I'll see how that goes.